Yo, it's your man with the plan, Marcelars here to talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And just for you guys to know, I'm just going to be talking casually about this. I don't really have any notes or any script or anything about this game because it's pretty much burned in my memory for the most part what I want to say. Hopefully I don't really forget anything. But this is a big button of warning, or big button in general. This big warning. I'm going to have heavy spoilers in this conversation about Final Fantasy VII Remake. So if you guys really don't want to, or you haven't played the game, or you don't want to know spoilers, please click off this video. I don't really want to be responsible for the compromise in knowledge, or the my opinion influencing yours, or making you guys more hyped than it should be. You should probably finish the game to actually probably click on this video, save this video for later, or just click off of it. I don't want to ruin your experience. But I just kind of wanted to start off this video to just talk about a little bit about my short little experience with Final Fantasy in general, and with Final Fantasy VII, and how that's kind of influenced how I feel about this game. So I played through a few Final Fantasies. I haven't really got through them. I just kind of started a few of them. I've only beaten one of them, but I have tried out many of them. I've tried out 4. I wanted to try 6. I didn't try 6, but that's one of the games I really wanted to try. I tried 7, and I have 10 on my PlayStation 4 right now. I need to play it. I just bought it for I think right now it's on sale. When I was recording this video for $12 US. And I've played a little bit of the old 14, which no wonder why it hurt me so much. It took me so long to get back into it. I still need to try the new version of it. And I played all the way through 15. That's the one I beat. It was 15. And mainly because I was not a big fan of the action. I think they call it the action time battle system, or it's called whatever that battle system's called, where you wait around and you have your enemy attack you if you're not taking your time, doing your actions in the correct manner. I just wasn't a big fan of that battle system. I didn't really, it was a little much for me. So fast forward back to Final Fantasy VII. I was very curious about 7 and 8, but more 7 because of Kingdom Hearts. It actually brought me into the Square Enix pool. What actually brought me into the Square Enix pool was Kingdom Hearts. So when I played Kingdom Hearts 2, which was my first Kingdom Hearts game, I saw this extra cool version of Cloud, and he was so fucking cool. For real. Honestly, I know people say he's edgy, but it was so cool. And I really wanted to know more about him and these 2 cute girls that were with him too. I was like, oh shit, and I guess Sid. So I bought 7 on maybe about way later, 7 years later, when I first started college. I bought 7 because I was like, why the hell not? And I played through probably half the game. Last thing I remember was that you get through Midgar, which was really interesting. Then you go to this one place where the snake follows you through the fucking fog or something, if you're not on a chocobo or something. I can't remember. Then you get to this town. I miss Yuffie. I don't know when you get Vincent, but I miss Yuffie. Then I got to the town with the giant lizard snake thing attacking a little girl or something. I can't really remember that part really well. Or was there an army part after? I don't know. But I want to say about halfway to almost halfway through the game, I got there, and I just couldn't handle the background contrast with the foreground 3D models. It was just too much for me. It was hard for me to know where to go. The ladders and weren't highlight. Well, I guess they had the mods on it, so the ladders were highlighted, but only highlighted when I got close to them and stuff. And it was just annoying. A lot of stuff was annoying in Final Fantasy VII just because of the visuals. The visuals really hurt me. In gameplay wise too. You gotta keep in mind, it might have been easy for a lot of people who are older, because I grew up in. I was born the year this game, the original Final Fantasy VII came out, and the only 2D game I played before I started going 3D was Sonic. So I was really not used to that pseudo 3D stuff. I either like 3D or not 3D. Because the stuff I was having is GameCube and PlayStation and things like that. So fast forward to about now, the Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, and I played. I did the demo before this, and it was okay. The demo didn't really, maybe because I saw it at E3 or something, it didn't really excite me to that degree. But since it's an RPG and I'm an RPG man, I was going to pick up anyway, and I got through the part that was after the demo that was just okay to me. I was like, okay, this is cool. It was really cool still, but it was just okay. And then then I hit that part where the factory blew down and they blew up the factory, and they went into the town and they were like, what the hell did we just do? But this is for the right thing. I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to feel this now. And then they give Cloud like a hard ass personality that isn't too that softens up at the perfect time. I was like, okay, I can really feel this. I really feel this story. So I got through probably one or two chapters, and then, or is it the chapter after that chapter you go to Midgar, the under the plate in Midgar. I think it's chapter 2. No, it's 3 where you go under the plate. So you meet Tifa and you meet Mirren, and Barret was all boisterous as ever. A little bit different than how they depict him in the original, but it was actually really greatly welcomed. And after that, the game just took off. I did all the side quests through most of the chapters, and I think I got most of the materia. I might do a stream on Twitch, or I don't know, maybe it's such a small stream, it's not like a big thing. I might do a stream on Twitch, probably doing the extra little mini things I left over, like the materias and the hard mode and stuff like that. But I really like that part of the game. The side quests were phenomenal. But I'm just gonna start with some things about the game that I'm gonna start with the stuff I really liked about this game in general, and I'm going to go down the list to the parts that didn't impress me, the stuff that made me really upset. I'll go through the list from good to bad. I gotta say, the number one thing about this game that I absolutely love was the soundtrack. Oh my god. It's a spoiler, I'm about to say a big spoiler. When they did the Sephiroth fight, it's like it was like, okay, it's gonna be a pseudo Sephiroth theme, it's just gonna be okay. They are gonna overdo it for just this beginning of the, for this ending of the game. And then they start hitting the snare drums and they're like, doom, do. I was like, oh shit, they're really about to go into the real creme de la creme Sephiroth theme. I can't even imagine what they're gonna do for I think you're at least gonna fight him one more time in his base form, right? I can't imagine what the hell they're going to do for Sephiroth later in the story. Because it was fucking phenomenal. Literally phenomenal. But other music I liked the Tifa, I think it was a Tifa remix that they did in Wall Market. You know what? I'm going to say this. Everything in Wall Market, all the songs there were fucking phenomenal. Everything was phenomenal. The songs were beautiful. I would say all of Wall Market songs were just top tier. Jenova's theme, the Dream Reaver one, was phenomenal, especially the final phase. Shoot. What other music that I really like? I like the Crab Warden's boss theme. I think that's the Crab Warden's boss theme from right before you get to the Mako Reactor 5. That was amazing. The music in the game, amazing. Then I like to talk about my second most favorite thing in the game was the combat system. I didn't really understand how they were going to make it very dynamic, other than just oh, fire hurts this, the, you know, you basic sword strikes, your special move, you know, yada yada yada. But between the materia and what they do, and then the purple materia is like a godsend in the fucking combat system. Like, the purple materia was so welcomed. Oh my god. I almost wish that's why I'm going through hard mode, just to see what the game would be like with all these dang upgrades. Like the parry, I gotta say the parry one was one of the coolest ones. I actually squealed a little bit because of the parry materia. Amazing. The materia choices, there's this one that adds elemental to your sword. It was just fucking great. The next thing I want to talk about is, I guess this is a part 2 of the combat system, but just the variety of combat styles and how they all kind of work, which is very rare for, like, only a few games have are action oriented that have different characters and they all feel relevant. I think the Tales of series is a good example of that. Most of them, you feel like all characters have their own perks in the Tales of series, and this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. The next thing I really want to talk about that I really loved is the visuals. The visuals were breathtaking, even though there was a glitch. There's two glitches to me. There's one that sometimes it takes a second for the visuals to load in, and it's weird. It's like the visuals don't really load in when they're supposed to. Cause so like, this is one thing. Aerith's flowers. This is one that's, I think, is broken for most people. For some reason, whenever you look at Aerith's flowers that she uses, like the one based off the one that she gives you at the very beginning of the game, for some reason, no matter what field or where she has them, those flowers look like crap. And I don't think it's because they had a bad, what do you say? They didn't have this because they just made the flowers look bad. I think it was just a glitch. The glitch really showed on those flowers, and it happens a few other places in the game, but not, it's not big of enough deal for you to be like, this, it's ugly. But it was noticeable that every single time a flower popped on the screen, it was fucking noticeable. So yeah, beautiful visuals. It kind of took my breath away how, like, beautiful just everything came out to be. The next big thing is the localization and voice direction and everything about this game. How they handled the voice acting for this game was phenomenal. So for those who don't know, what they did is that they have 4 languages, I think, 4 to 5 languages for this game, and they had a AI. So normally when you dub a game in different languages other than the native, that you have to have the foreign voice actors normally match up with the original voice actors' lip flaps and pauses and stuff. So Square Enix, that's actually has technology now for all their games, because they're doing it for Trials of Mana. This is why the voice acting for that one, I'm going to talk about that one when I finish it later. The voice acting doesn't have to be precise like that anymore. So voice actors aren't limited to pauses and stuff that they have for the most part. It's only in the parts that are not completely that aren't scripted, like the in-game cutscenes. Those are the ones that they can say whatever they want at any pace they want. And it's because they have AI technologies that like analyzes your lip flaps and stuff to make sure the characters still match up with the dialogue, with whatever they're saying in game, not in the cutscenes, but in game. Because they still grunt and shit in the cutscenes, just to match up the voice acting. But the voice direction was amazing. Aerith, I think she's a Let's Player. I can't remember her name. Cloud, perfect. I can't remember. I think he's new. I think Cloud's voice actor is no, so was Tifa's. But perfect. This sounds like the old Cloud, but even like old Cloud, even a little bit more expressive, but still the old Cloud. Barret's voice actor was good, a little over the top sometimes, but great. And yeah, it was good. The writing was phenomenal. I actually felt like I was talking to real people. It's very rare when I play a video game, especially a Japanese video game, localized. I feel like we're talking to real people. Like, this is something, I feel like Cloud, like, oh shit. Like, he's about to fucking just cut me up. Like, it's the way he said it, the way he reacts to it, and just all this stuff. It just seems so realistic. I loved it. What else did they talk about the voice acting? I gotta say, like, the performance that really blew me away, it has to be Cloud. Cloud was really, really phenomenal. The next thing I really want to talk about, what was there to talk about that? Oh, the extra character. So the adaptation part of it. So, for those who don't know, who've played through the whole game, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, play through the fucking game for our faith. This is the big spoiler territory. Up until Midgar, the whole time in Midgar was so expressive and so good. It had all the different things that you wanted into it, the cross-dressing scenes and the damn, even extension of jokes and aerith, talk about Zack and all that other stuff. So, they added a whole bunch of scenes, and some of it was unnecessary. I'll get to that in a second when it gets close to the negative. But let's go to the part where I'm going to talk about, like, the remake part of this, the quote-unquote remake. So, for those who don't know, this is basically Final Fantasy VII 2 or 3, depending on how you want to look at it, because Advent Children. But this is basically Final Fantasy VII 2. It under the moniker of remake, because this game does require it doesn't require you to, but they highly recommend that you at least know most of the lore from Final Fantasy VII, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Original, and Advent Children, and some of it. And they kind of retcon some of the stuff in Advent Children. But they expect you to know most of this shit. And they came out the very end of the game, and we're talking about, like, characters defying their fate and changing their fate around, and that the original 7 was a bad ending, because if you don't remember in the original 7, that I'm very foggy because I watched the original 7 stuff like such a long time ago. I think the humans, Advent Children, I think was a little bleak already from what I remember, and I think if you don't remember the end of 7, I think Sephiroth. What happened is that when you kill Sephiroth, he's permanently a virus in the planet, so he's going to always come back, or he's always going to have some of a hand in what's going to happen in the future. And if you remember the ending of 7, that Red 13 finds they were showing it when the Arbiters of Fate were showing them flashbacks. They were showing Red 13 running with his kids. That's because at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, not remake, original, there was a scene where they seemed like there was not that people weren't alive anymore, or humankind was almost extinct, or they were extinct. They just made an assumption that's a theory at least, and they're saying, and basically this game is like, fuck that ending, that was the bad ending. And for those who don't know, that Final Fantasy VII was always kind of like about sacrifice and moving past what you sacrificed and stuff. And I could see why a lot of people, I can see both sides of why this ending is very controversial to a lot of people. It kind of, so I could tell it kind of does not spit, but kind of alters the original ideas behind this game. Like, we played Final Fantasy VII. It was the loss of Aerith, of Zack, of Biggs. I think we did Wedge, Jesse, several other characters that kind of like, sacrifice themselves for the greater cause. it got them all the main cast up until this point. And even though originally, if you watch interviews, because even though I haven't played through all the game, I tried to keep myself up into it. The original idea was that half the cast was supposed to die. It was supposed to be chosen cast. Like, I think Cloud plus 2, I think it was 8 people in your party, 7. I think Cloud plus, I think 4 other people were supposed to live, and the rest of them were supposed to be killed off halfway through the game, I think. Where Aerith died, but it's early in development. They're like, that is too much. You cannot kill off half the cast of main characters. So Aerith's death was actually supposed to be everybody, like half the cast death originally. I think Nomura stopped that, and I think people think it spits on the idea that the original 7 did. In some ways, I understand that, because this was supposed to be a remake. People expected a remake, and they did not expect some type of creative, like, you know, like how Kodaka does with Danganronpa, some creative, weird, like, retcon / story complication change. Other than that, he's not that much than the original. But as I am seeing this game as Final Fantasy VII 2. I am seeing this as Final Fantasy VII 2. I am going to. This original's still there. It still has the same merit. I know it's annoying to people that they expected to have this game remade, though. They wanted to see all their favorite scenes remade. And I'm not saying that they're going to change every scene after this game. They could, but they better have confidence. Like, the idea that they have the freaking cojones to even do this, to me, it speaks volumes. It speaks loudly about, like, this what they're going for. So I know Nomura's on the helm, but he's the producer, not the he's the director, not the producer. In Japan, the producer is the one who makes really, really big decisions. Nomura just kind of confirms it, kinda. From what I remember about directors and producers in Japan, director is just kind of like the boss of the boss, kind of like, oh, you really shouldn't do that. He's only going there if it's really weird, you know, stuff is really weird. And he might put some Kingdom Hearts shit in set 7. He might have some connection to Sora or some shit there. I mean, there's no denying he might do something like that. But I'm just saying, in the long run, I do not believe that it's going to be. I do not, unless they really want to piss off everybody. They want to piss off everybody. I do not believe that they're going to go the route of like fan fiction bullshit that, you know, the people quote unquote say Nomura is always known for, and he is known for stuff like that, for stuff that isn't explained until like 20 years later, or giving a weak explanation when it is time to explain it, or only giving a partial and then giving you the other half when, like, way later. Like, who knows, the payoff for finale of Kingdom Hearts could be substantial. Like, it could be just like, oh my god, I forgive 3, I forgive all that other shit, because I like all the games. I love 3, but I think a lot of people, when they come to this game, we don't really know what they're going to do with this game yet. We don't know if they're going to give you options. It could be a branching fate thing, like, oh, do you want to go to the path of the original, or do you want to go to the path of this new timeline, or do you want us to, you know, do this shit this way or that way, yada yada yada. You know, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a fan fiction, even though 7 has a lot of shit in it. Clones, space, different beings, super soldiers, companies, mysterious ancient races, powers, aliens, dying planets, life force, goddesses. 5-year wars. Like, 7 has a lot of shit in it, and I know time travel might actually fuck up the story a little bit, but I would trust them until they have proven otherwise that it's going to be a fucked up story. I wouldn't worry about it. I only worry about that shit when at the payoff ends up being really weak, or it's just obvious that they just don't know what they're doing. But I think they have a vision for this game. They started producing the second version of this game, I think November, when they were done, like in November, I think. They already started making the second part in November. Now, with the stuff going on in the world right now, I don't know if it's going to change that. But I'm just going to throw my theory out there that what they're going to do, I think what's going to end up happening with the game is that it's going to be, I hope it's open world. I hope it's open world, but there's a small chance it might be a tad bit linear. We have to see. I highly doubt it, but I think it's gonna be a tad bit more linear. It's still gonna be open world, but a tad bit more linear, like how 15 was. Like, it was open world, but it really wasn't in some ways. And then they're going to have the characters make some minor changes throughout the story, and then the finale of the game is going to be like either them altering Aerith's death, somebody else is going to die instead of Aerith, or like Sephiroth is not even going to, it's going to do something completely different by the end of part, because I think there's going to be, is it 2 more parts or 3 more parts, but I think they're going to go to the Aerith part, and Sephiroth is going to come down, you know, try to, or he's going to be like, oh, instead of that, I'm going to sacrifice this person so you don't win, Cloud, or something, you know, something crazy. And I think it's going to be greatly welcomed. I do think the theme of the story is going to be compromised a little bit, honestly. I don't think that's going to get away from it. This is the idea, or everybody's going to die in the end. It's just that some characters that weren't going to die, only some of them are going to survive. And then some of the other ones are going to take the spot of other ones. Who knows? But I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with that part. So I know I kind of said I was going to go through the list of what I did and didn't like, but I wanted to just talk about that because that was something I liked. I really like the difference between the new and the old story, and I hope the next bosses could be Yazoo and the gang from Avid Children. That'd be really cool. You can finally get to play against them. Annoying assholes. So back to the few more things I liked about the game. Or I mean, I'm getting close to my dislike. You know, I'm just gonna say something I didn't like about the game. This is the biggest criticism I have about this game. It feels like they were looking for a runtime for this game, 30 to 40 hours. I got done in 50 because I did all the side quests. They were all amazing. But I feel like there were 2 or 3 chapters and parts of maybe half of 2 of the other chapters that were totally unnecessary, how long and arduous they were and how annoying they were. And sometimes it was fun. It was a fun diversion, but it definitely did annoy me to some point because how long they lasted. Because like the train graveyard, biggest example, great thing, didn't make a fucking lick of sense, of course. It was not supposed to. It's supposed to be supernatural, but I feel like they could have incorporated more game, maybe main story into it. Because you just go to the train graveyard. Sorry, choked on something. Went to the train graveyard, and you know, you find the ghost and you fight the ghost, and you know, like, oh, Marlene, you're a ghost. At first, they're gonna think that like Marlene was dead. I was like, what? Oh, no. Or that was an alternate timeline Marlene or something. But it was just like, okay, the plate is about to fall. Are we really messing with these ghosts for real? Like, you know, we can help them and, you know, being friendly. But Aerith and everybody's like, oh, look at these ghosts. They're so cute. Ha 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 ha. I'm like, guys, don't you remember the plate is about to freaking fall? And this felt like they were having like a Saturday morning cartoon like excursion for like for a nice half an hour, where it felt like they should have been like, guys, you gotta understand, we're about to get the thing, everybody's about to die, you know, like dealing with these ghosts. It just felt a little weird. The next part of the game that was weird was the part with Leslie in the sewers. Like Leslie, who was a character from a novel, I think, and so is what's her name, xiii. They're the characters from a novel, Final Fantasy VII novel. But I really I love Leslie's story, but it was weird how long his like his trek through the sewers was. I'm like, okay, like, okay, I understand, like, why am I fighting these annoying status enemies in this long sewer segment that's actually longer than the first time you go through it? Like, holy crap, what am I doing here? It was just weird. It was just really weird. And there was one more part I wasn't the most fond of. What was it? I can't remember on top of my head right now. It had to probably be. Oh, it was the 2 chapters before Mach. I think it was 1 or 2 chapters for the Mach Reactor 5, and actually getting to it and doing that one too. It was just like, the whole Mach Reactor 5 arc in this game was ridiculous. How long it was and how arduous and complicated the puzzles were. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, the enemies weren't even hard. It was. The sewer was harder than that part. I think that's my least favorite part, was the trek was doing the Mach Reactor 5, right up until the air buster. Yeah, that was pretty rough, honestly. Actually, it was the only part that actually, I was addicted to the game. It was actually a part that didn't make me addicted for a nice second. So yeah, I think that part was the part that's the one thing about the game that really threw me off, other than the stuff I've already talked about. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about the game? The last thing I wanted to talk about is the last thing I want to talk about is what they could do in the future versions of the game, and like how they're gonna power balance, yada yada yada, and all this other stuff. I really like the materials and how they worked in this game, but they do need to add more materia, more special effects, and maybe more slots to the weapon, maybe, because it is like the original, how the materia work. But this is like, between the combat materia, like the purple ones, you want to have so many of those on, alongside the magic. And I really hope that they come up with more combat materia and combat moves and a jump to Cloud, because the jumping part was really weird. Like, if you ever play Kingdom Hearts or other Square games that have jumping, it's so much better to jump and attack than having the game choose where to attack for you, because the game is not, it's not like it has a good AI behind the game. It could make you fly off the screen if it's not optimized right. So I really hope that they give you a jump in the next game, they give you more materia in the next game. Hopefully they have a good reason of why you're losing all your powers, maybe because you went through the time rift, who knows. Or like, and I hope to God that they don't they don't make the story too fan-fiction-y, because there's a difference between fan-fiction writing styles and, like, writing styles. They need to have reasons behind why they're changing certain things, and they need to explain it, and they cannot, because Zack is alive, they cannot have Zack and Cloud in the same timeline and probably till the end, because it's going to be too annoying having 2 superpowered soldiers that have very similar play style. I mean, you can still play as Zack depending on how they do it. You can switch to his timeline, but having them together on the same team too early is going to be annoying, because it's just going to be like, it's weird. It's just too weird. They need Cloud in this universe doesn't feel like Zack is still dead for a while. They go through his stuff, and maybe once he finds out he's not like Zack comes out of nowhere and, like, becomes part of the team or something, or even in the battle with Sephiroth, or when Aerith dies, Zack could take her place or something. He needs to be something like that, because it's going to be annoying to have both of them on the same team. But overall, I love this game. This game gave me goosebumps playing it. The soundtrack gave me goosebumps. One of my favorite soundtracks. I'm going to put in my videos and shit. Even this one. I really hope you give this series a try. If you're not already mad about the changes they make, keep on going with it. And they want us to talk about this. Have faith into the writers until you don't. And please don't hate me for my opinions about this, because I know I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan. So I might sound like heresy coming from me. But please, please, please like this video with a thumbs up and or a thumbs down. It doesn't matter which one. It just helps to know you guys are watching. Also hit the subscribe button, a little bell icon to join the rebellion, because I'm my friend, the lowly bastard that needs a friend. And I will see you guys next video and stream. And make sure you subscribe to my Twitch channel, because I will do a lot of small streams on Twitch that I won't do on YouTube, because I try to do my big streams on YouTube. I might do some small ones too, but I'll be switching between here and Twitch once in a while. So if you don't see a lot of videos sometimes, it's because I'm on Twitch. And if I'm not on Twitch, you know, hit me in Discord or on my Twitter or something, and I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot about you guys. But I'll see you guys next video or stream. Bye bye. Bye bye.